Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving deep into a really fascinating theory, one that tries to connect some of history's biggest puzzles. I'm talking about the pyramids, ancient star charts, all of it, with a single lost civilization called Atlas. All right, let's jump right in with a question that has frankly bugged historians for ages. How did so many ancient cultures, totally separate from each other, separated by vast oceans and thousands of years, how did they all independently get so good at astronomy? I mean, stunningly precise. Just look at this. You've got the Maya tracking the cycles of Venus with this just mind-boggling accuracy. Then there are the Egyptians, aligning the Great Pyramids to constellations to predict the Nile's floods. And it's not just them. All the way over in prehistoric Japan, the Jomon people were building these massive stone circles, lined up perfectly with the solstices. You have to wonder, right? Where did all this knowledge come from? Could there have been a single common source? So here's what we're going to cover in this explainer. First, we'll dig into that shared ancient mystery. Then, we'll introduce this idea of the lost Atlas civilization. From there, we'll trace its supposed echoes across the globe, look at a really wild splinter theory, and finally, bring it all home to what it might mean for us today. Okay, first up, let's really unpack this shared mystery, this puzzle of prehistoric astronomy. So what's the proposed answer to this whole puzzle? Well, it's not a sunken continent like you might be thinking of, not in the traditional sense. The theory suggests it was more of a global prototype civilization, an ancient intelligence system they called Atlas. And this is the key thing to grasp right here. Don't think of Atla as a country with borders and a flag. Think of it as a global system of knowledge, a civilization that understood the entire Earth as one single living cosmic resonant body, and they knew how to tap into its energies. Now, this timeline, wow. It paints a pretty dramatic picture, even if it is speculative. You have this golden age right around 12,000 BCE, then a massive cataclysm, a total collapse. The survivors, they scatter across the globe and start with a theory called reconstruction projects. Basically, planting the seeds for what would become ancient Egypt, Sumer, and so on. And over thousands of years, that original, pure knowledge, it gets fragmented, breaking down into the separate myths, religions, and secret traditions we see in the history books. Okay, so if this advanced civilization collapsed and its people scattered, where did they end up? Well, let's take a look at how this theory literally maps their influence all across the ancient world. So the idea here is that Atlas' core knowledge wasn't just photocopied everywhere. No, it was adapted, it was localized. So in Mesopotamia, it morphed into the foundation of their advanced mathematics. In Egypt, the pyramids weren't just tombs, they were resonance antennas. And over in the Americas, their complex calendars were seen as ways to track cosmic frequencies. It's like each culture got a piece of the original blueprint and then built something unique with it. And this is where it gets really cool, how the theory weaves into global mythology. Just think about it for a second. How many ancient cultures have stories of these divine teachers or gods coming down from the sky to give humanity the gift of knowledge? You've got the Anunnaki in Babylonia, Thoth in Egypt, Kukulkan or Quetzalcoatl in Mesoamerica. The theory argues these aren't just make-believe stories. They're folk memories, echoes of the real survivors of Atlas, the scientists and teachers of a lost world. And get this, these sites where the survivors set up shop, they weren't just picked out of a hat. The theory claims they were built on very specific nodes of a planetary energy grid, what some people call ley lines. We're talking about a network connecting places like Giza, Machu Picchu, and even Easter Island. It's supposed to be this incredible global web designed to harmonize the entire planet's energy. All right, brace yourselves, because this is where the theory takes a turn into some seriously fascinating and, speculative territory. It connects this whole ancient idea to a legend you've probably heard of, the flying island of Laputa. So the thinking goes like this. After the Great Cataclysm, not everyone stayed on the ground to rebuild. One faction, a group the theory calls the Highland Atla tribe, decided to use their incredible technology to just check out, to escape the chaos completely. They literally took to the skies, and their story, passed down through the ages, became the myth of Laputa. And what's so compelling here is this deep split in philosophy. It's a tale of two paths. The original Atlas civilization was all about sacred tech, technology that worked in harmony with the Earth. But the Laputans, they went a different way. They developed power tech, which was all about mastery, control, and ultimately escaping the Earth. It's a classic story, isn't it? One path is about balance, the other is about an arrogance that leads to self-destruction. And here's how the tech supposedly evolved. Atla's original tech, this Aether resonator, was grounded. It had to be. It worked with the Earth's magnetic field. But the Laputans? They supposedly took that core principle and twisted it. They engineered the Flying Stone, a self-contained, mobile anti-gravity field. It completely severed their connection to the planet, letting them just float up there totally isolated. So, okay, we've talked about ancient history, myths, flying islands. Why does any of this matter today? Well, this is where the theory's conclusion brings it all right back home to the 21st century and our own big technological dreams. You can almost see our modern world as the third act in this incredibly ancient story. Act 1, Atla, living in harmony with the cosmos. Act 2, Laputa, dreaming of defying gravity and escaping Earth entirely. And now, Act 3, that's us. A relentless drive for space travel, for AI, for planetary engineering. The theory suggests this is the modern echo of that very same Laputan ambition. And if you look at our most ambitious projects through this lens, you can see what the theory calls the Laputa gene. Think about it. SpaceX is literally trying to redesign gravity and propulsion. Things like space solar power, that's just aerial power generation on a massive scale. And biodomes, those are our attempts to build self-contained artificial ecosystems. Symbolically, you could say we're trying to rebuild Laputa piece by piece. And that brings us to the final, really provocative takeaway here. The theory concludes that the true legacy of Atla isn't something you can dig up with a shovel. It's not just buried in stone. It's an idea. It's a philosophy of cosmic resonance, of harmony, and it's just waiting to be reactivated, to reawaken in the consciousness of people who resonate with it. So the question it leaves us with is, which path are we on? The path of Atla or the path of Laputa? Harmony or escape? Something to think about.